So what do you do when somebody falsely accuses you of being a man who faked cancer to scam money out of people, and then harasses you for months, surveilling you from behind blocks when you try to force him to leave you alone that way, screen capture posts about your personal life and then recontextualizes them to further his lie about you, builds a following based off harassing you and other women, usually vulnerable women like domestic violence victims and other people going through serious traumatic, life-altering traumas, and then tries to recontextualize himself as the victim when you fight back and raise money based on his harassment of you. I've been dealing with a man named Brock Hemming since last September. I initially encountered him on Twitter after a really brief back and forth where I told him that if someone blocks him, he should leave them alone and stop pursuing a conversation with them and respect their boundary. That quickly escalated into him going to my bio, seeing that I had a donation link where people could help support me while I recovered from a hysterectomy to remove cancer, and accused me of faking cancer, fabricating biopsy results, and eventually being a man. The whole being a man part came in handy because the cancer that I had only affects people assigned female at birth, so that fed into his little narrative there. Yeah, when I tried to block him, move on, because he clearly was an unhinged abuser, cyber stalker, harasser, he made multiple accounts to continue to surveil me from behind my block, would screenshot like my personal posts about my life, take them out of context, distort them to try to feed into this like lie that he created about me. And all the while he was doing this to other women as well, women who were trying to escape domestic violence relationships, women trying to raise money for domestic violence shelters, other women who had health issues, basically any woman who disagreed with him and had any sort of trauma and donation link to try to help, overcome the trauma. He accused of being scammers and added to a list. And he said he wouldn't take us off this list unless we proved that we were telling the truth. And the only way to prove this would be to expose personal details about our lives that would allow him to further harass us. Not that it did any good, because any proof that we had, he just claimed we fabricated, lied about, or he just ignored entirely, pretended he didn't see it. He built a following off of harassing myself and some other women, and in the months since, this started last September, he's made quite a few enemies. He's also developed an army of stock accounts, people who have probably dozens of accounts between them. Anytime we block them, they just come back with a new account to keep harassing us. The most recent update is he's victimized himself and started a GoFundMe of his own to raise money for legal purposes, because he's trying to make us afraid that he's, gonna sue us or something for standing up against his false accusations and harassment. That's definitely not the case, because any lawyer would have told him to shut up a long time ago. He's clearly raising money just to profit off of harassing us. He's in a different country than me. He won't go away. And he keeps targeting different women or recycling the same women. You know, he'll lay off for a while and then come back and harass them again. And this attempt to profit off of harassing me, off of falsely accusing me of faking cancer and harassing and falsely accusing other women of fabricating their trauma, is the last straw. So I'm taking this to other platforms to see if I can get some support for this, because Twitter's not doing anything about it. They won't suspend him. And this needs to end. And I am putting this out there because if he comes for other people, I want there to be a record of what he's done to me and these other women, so that people have a chance of defending themselves. Because he's definitely makes a habit to decontextualize things. If one of us reacts angrily or negatively to him, he takes that out of context as if he didn't create this situation himself by doing things like making these false accusations. So yeah, we'll see what happens.